Hey everybody, it's Mr. Brenner, and we are here about to start a really cool fairy tale that I think you all are going to enjoy. Let's get started, okay? So here we go. First of all, let's start by reminding ourselves what the author's purpose is, and you can see it here. The author's purpose is why is the author writing this story? The author's purpose might be to teach you something. It could be just to make you laugh, or it could be to convince you to do something, or to convince you to think something. And a lot of times there are commercials that will um, try and convince you. That's that kind of writing when an author is making a commercial, or sometimes they call it an ad. Or it could be just something to make you laugh, something that seems really silly, or it's trying to teach you something. What do you know about fairy tales? That's the next thing. A lot of us have seen movies, especially Disney movies, that kind of are like fairy tales, or we've read books like Cinderella that I just read with one of my books, with one of my groups. Have you ever made a wish that ended up coming true? And what happened after you made that wish? What happens after it came true? This is a really good fairy tale. And like a lot of fairy tales, the author is trying to do something. The author is trying to tell you something. And we're going to figure out if the author is trying to convince you something or teach you something with this story, or maybe the author is just trying to make you laugh. And there are some different ways that the author might try and teach you something. Let's see if we can figure it out, okay? So open up your book to page 333. I'm sorry, 336 to 337. Okay, and we'll get started. It is called The Wisest Wish of All, and it's a fairy tale. There's this girl, and it looks like she catches a frog. And if you've ever seen some fairy tales, a lot of times catching frogs ends up being magical. There's at least two fairy tales I can think of with a magic frog in it. It was a sunny Saturday, and all the Hoopers were busy. Dad was in his bike shop, humming. Mom was weeding her flower garden. Lucy, the oldest child, was painting wildflowers in the nearby field. She likes to paint, it seems like, and she really likes nature, it seems like. She planned to look up the flowers in an encyclopedia and write a caption for each painting. Good idea. Ben was the middle child. He ran off carrying a bucket and a book on rocks. And you can kind of tell, a bucket? He has a book on rocks? I bet he's going to start collecting rocks. 9-year-old Claire squatted quietly at the lily pond, trying to catch a frog with her net. So over here, let's just pause for a moment. Why do you think the author is telling us all of this? The author tells us things for a reason. The author is trying to tell us something. What is the purpose for this? Well, in this case, I'm guessing the author wants to show us that this family really likes being outside. This family really has interesting hobbies and things to do. Okay? Ben runs off collecting rocks. Claire is at the pond trying to catch a frog. Lucy, is painting flowers. Mom is tending to a garden, and Dad is building a bicycle. They all really like being outside. There's a reason he wanted to point out with this. So let's see what happens with this family. Suddenly, swoop, down came Claire's net. Hey, cried a small frog, struggling in the net. What's going on? There's the frog. Claire had never met a talking frog before. I bet you haven't met a talking frog either. I certainly haven't. I'm taking you home. I've made for you in my tub, she said. Oh no, snorted the frog. Listen, let me go. I will grant you any wish. Well, I want a TV, replied Claire. Mom and Dad don't think we need one. Your parents are probably right, said the frog, but he thought of a plan. So think about this. Claire says, we'd like a TV. Mom and Dad don't think we need one. Maybe that's why they're all outside. Maybe that's why everybody is outside doing things, because they don't have a TV. They can't watch TV or watch videos or play video games. Um, would you spend more time outside running around or playing outside if you didn't have a TV? I bet I would. And the frog thinks that's a good thing. Your parents are probably right, said the frog, but he thought of a plan. He told her how to win a contest with a TV as a prize. 2 weeks later, the Hoopers won a new TV. Mom warned the family not to watch too much TV, but soon the whole family was watching just about everything. And so now we've learned, I think, what the author was trying to tell us before. Before, they didn't have a TV and they were always outside playing and they were always doing interesting things. Now, the whole family watches just about everything. You are going to need that because of your assignment, okay? So, have you ever made a wish that came true? Claire's wish came true. Claire got a TV, and now she isn't outside catching frogs anymore. None of her family is outside gardening or painting flowers or catching rocks or building bicycles. They're all watching TV. We're going to find out even more what happens. But do you think they're glad that her wish came true? Here is your assignment, the wisest wish of all. What kind of what kind of genre is this? I told you already. It is right here. It's a fairy tale. Who's telling the story? I'm going to let you figure that out. Is one of the kids or one of the characters, like, is Claire telling the story? Is the mom telling the story? Or is it a separate person talking about her? And then details in the story on page 336, which is the first page of the story. What does the author provide details about each family member? I gave you the answer to that. So see if you can put that into the answer. And if you need to, you can rewind and watch the video. What detail gives us a hint that the story is a fairy tale? Well, what part of this story is obviously magical? I bet you can figure that out. On the next page, what does the frog promise to Claire? Oh, don't take me home. Don't take me home. I'm going to. What does the frog promise? Why do you think Claire's mom didn't want the family watching TV? I gave you a hint about that too. You can figure that out. This is going to be your assignment. We haven't read page 338, so don't do this part. But we did read page 336, 337. So you can do these 4 questions, okay? And that's it for today. We will pick up more on Tuesday when we come back, okay? Have a good day.